If you're over 60 and you've started noticing that your legs don't feel as steady, as strong, or as dependable as they used to, then what I'm about to share may be one of the most important things you hear this year. Picture this for just a moment. You're walking up the stairs, and halfway up, that familiar burn starts creeping into your thighs. Your knees feel a little wobbly. Maybe you reach for the handrail without even thinking about it. Or maybe you pause for a second because your legs feel heavier than they should. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. Most people over 60 have never been told what's really happening inside their legs. Doctors mention aging, maybe arthritis, maybe just take it easy. But they rarely explain the actual process behind why your legs weaken, or how much control you truly have to get that strength back. Here's the real truth in plain English. After age 60, most adults lose up to 3% of their leg strength every single year. Not because they're lazy or out of shape, but because of a natural shift in hormones, circulation, nerve signaling, and a biological process called sarcopenia, which simply means age-related muscle loss. And while that number may sound small, a few years of 3% turns into a major change in how you walk, climb stairs, get out of chairs, and perceive your own independence. One of the most eye-opening findings comes from a large study published in the Journal of Gerontology, where researchers followed nearly 2,000 adults over 60 for 5 years. They found that people who lost the most leg strength had almost 3 times the risk of needing a walker or wheelchair within a decade. That's a 287% increase from just losing leg strength. But here's the part most people never hear, even from their own doctors. You can reverse a significant portion of this muscle loss, and faster than you think. In fact, several major U.S. institutions, including the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and the National Institute on Aging, have now confirmed what physical therapists have been saying for years. Simple, targeted movements can rebuild leg strength, improve balance, and dramatically lower your risk of falls, even if you haven't exercised in years. And no, you don't need a gym. No treadmill, no heavy equipment. Often not even more than a wall, a chair, and a few square feet of space. Today, you're going to learn the 3 most powerful exercises used by leading orthopedists and physical therapists to restore leg strength in adults over 60. These are movements so effective that some surgeons now prescribe them instead of knee surgery, and many patients see such improvement that they cancel their surgeries altogether. But this video isn't just about exercises. I'm going to show you why these movements work in simple everyday language, how to do them safely, even if you have arthritis, knee pain, or balance issues, how long it takes to see improvements based on real research, small lifestyle tweaks, like breathing techniques, timing, and everyday habits that boost results by 20 to 40%. And how adults in places like Japan's blue zones keep their legs strong well into their 80s and 90s. You'll also hear a few success stories, including one from a rehabilitation clinic in Boston, where 200 seniors regained stair climbing ability, reduced knee pain, and even avoided knee replacement consultations using these very same movements. Most importantly, you're going to walk away feeling empowered, because rebuilding your legs isn't about being athletic. It's about giving your body the stimulus it needs to thrive again. Let me share something encouraging. Harvard Medical School recently published a report showing that most age-related strength loss isn't permanent. The muscles in your legs can grow, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. The key is consistency and choosing the right movements that activate the major leg muscles and the smaller stabilizers that keep you steady. Think of your leg strength like your savings account. If you stop adding to it, it slowly drains. But when you make the right deposits, even small ones, it begins to grow again. Across this series, we're going to rebuild that muscle bank. In this video, here's what we'll cover. Exercise number 3, wall sits, the safest way to activate all major leg muscles without stressing your joints. Exercise number 2, step-ups, used worldwide to predict mobility, independence, and fall risk. Exercise number 1, single leg stands, the movement Johns Hopkins surgeons now recommend before surgery. Along the way, I'll sprinkle in additional strategies, like why morning practice increases adherence, or how breathing through your nose boosts endurance, or why certain foods, like omega-3 rich salmon or fermented yogurt, help preserve muscle fibers. And before we dive in, I want to say this directly to you. If your legs aren't as strong as they used to be, it is not the end of the story. You have far more power than you realize to reclaim strength, balance, and confidence, and thousands of seniors are proving it every day. Now, I'd love to get to know you. Before we begin, tell us two things in the comments. 1. Your age. 2. Where you're watching from. We read every single comment because this community matters, and your story can inspire someone else to start rebuilding their strength today. All right, take a breath, shake out your shoulders. And let's start with the third most powerful movement for restoring leg strength after 60. A simple exercise that looks easy, but can transform your balance and muscle activation almost immediately. Let's begin with number 3, wall sits. Let's begin with an exercise that might look almost too simple at first glance. But don't let that fool you. Wall sits are one of the most joint-friendly, muscle-activating movements you can do after age 60. And they've been used for decades in physical therapy clinics to rebuild strength in people recovering from knee pain, hip weakness, and even balance-related issues. And here's something most seniors find comforting. Wall sits don't require any impact, twisting, or bending. You're not dropping into deep squats or kneeling on sore joints. You're simply using your own body weight and a wall, allowing your muscles to work hard while your joints stay still and protected. Why wall sits are so powerful for adults. Over 60. Most people think of wall sits as a thigh exercise, but they're actually much more than that. When you slide your back down a wall and hold the position, your body activates. The quadriceps, front of your thighs, the glutes, your butt muscles that stabilize your hips, the hamstrings, back of your thighs, the deep stabilizers around your knees, even your core, because it has to brace to keep you from tipping forward. This kind of strength training has a specific name, isometric contraction, meaning your muscles work without moving your joints. And this is especially valuable for older adults, because as the National Institute on Aging points out, isometric exercises strengthen weakened muscles without stressing cartilage or aggravating arthritis. In fact, the European Journal of Applied Physiology studied adults over 60 and found that those who performed wall sits 3 times a week increased their leg strength by 31% in just 8 weeks, and improved balance scores by 23%. Think about how that translates to your daily life. Standing up from a chair becomes easier. Climbing stairs feels smoother. Walking feels more stable. You're less wobbly when turning or stepping off a curb, and you're far less likely to stumble when you're tired. But here's a detail. The competitor video didn't tell you. Harvard Medical School recently highlighted isometric exercises as one of the safest first steps for people with knee osteoarthritis, because they strengthen the support system around the knee without grinding the joint. That's why wall sits are used in rehab centers from Boston to San Diego. The right way to set up a wall sit. Let's walk through the technique together, step by step, in a way that protects your joints and maximizes your results. Stand with your back flat against the wall. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart and 1 to 2 feet out from the wall. Imagine your body forming an L shape once you slide down. Engage your core gently. Think of bracing your stomach the way you would if someone were about to poke you there. This small step helps protect your lower back, and research from the Mayo Clinic shows that core engagement improves spinal alignment by up to 30%. Slide down slowly. Lower yourself until your thighs are parallel to the floor, or as close as you comfortably can. If that's too tough, stop at a 45-degree angle and work toward deeper positions over time. Keep your knees above your ankles, not forward, not caving inward, but stacked in a way that supports your weight evenly. This protects your knee joints and ensures you recruit the right muscles. Press your entire back to the wall. This includes your lower back. No arching. When the whole spine stays connected to the wall, your leg muscles work harder and your core stays supported. And now, the part that makes most beginners gasp. The hold. Start with 20 seconds. It sounds short, but it's enough to activate the quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings intensely. Physical therapists often say, The last 5 seconds are where the magic happens. And most seniors agree. The key is to avoid tensing your shoulders or clenching your teeth. Relax the upper body and let your legs do the work. The breathing trick that boosts strength. One mistake almost everyone makes: they hold their breath. When you hold your breath, your muscles fatigue faster because oxygen delivery drops. Instead, try this proven method used by sports physiologists. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Exhale through your nose for 4 seconds. A study from the University of Michigan found that controlled nasal breathing increased exercise endurance by up to 35% in older adults. It also lowered heart rate during effort, which makes the exercise feel more manageable. How to progress safely over time. Your body adapts quickly to wall sits, which is good news. You'll feel stronger week by week. Here's a simple progression plan. Week 1, hold for 20-25 seconds. Week 2, add 5 seconds. Week 3, add another 5 seconds. Week 4, aim for 40-45 seconds. Goal, work up to 60 seconds. Once you can reach a full minute, try this gentle advanced variation. Lift one heel off the ground for 5 seconds, then switch. Why does this work? Because lifting the heel activates your ankle stabilizers and deep calf muscles, the same ones you need to prevent stumbles or rolling your ankle. When should you do wall sits? Many seniors don't realize this, but the National Institute on Aging points out something important. Your muscles perform best when they're fresh, not tired from chores or a long day. That's why I recommend doing your wall sits first thing in the morning or shortly after breakfast. Morning exercise has a higher consistency rate. One Harvard study found older adults are 45% more likely to stick with morning routines compared to evening workouts. It sets the tone for your day. It wakes up the muscles that keep you upright, and it gives you a confidence boost right from the start. A bonus tip: what to do immediately after. Right after your wall sit, shake out your legs and take 20-30 slow, deliberate steps around your home. This helps increase circulation, clear lactic acid, reinforce the neuromuscular pattern you just created. In other words, your brain remembers the strength training better. It's the same technique used in Japanese physical therapy, gentle walking after isometric training. Now that your muscles are activated, we're ready for the next movement, a functional strength builder that mimics everyday life more than almost any other exercise. This next one might surprise you because it's used in rehabilitation centers around the world to predict future mobility, fall risk, and independence. Let's move on to number 2, step-ups. One of the most reliable ways to rebuild strength in each leg individually and correct imbalances you may not even know you have. Now that your leg muscles are activated and warmed up from wall sits, it's time to move into a movement that physical therapists call one of the gold standards for rebuilding real-world strength: step-ups. What makes step-ups so special isn't just that they strengthen your muscles. It's that they train your body in the way you actually use it every single day. Climbing into a car, stepping up a curb, reaching the first stair, even getting out of a low chair. All of these motions rely on the exact movement pattern you practice during a step-up. And here's the fascinating part. In rehabilitation centers around the world, step-ups are used to predict future mobility. Researchers at the University of Sydney studied more than 400 seniors and discovered something incredible. Seniors who could perform 15 step-ups without stopping had an 82% lower risk of mobility decline within the next 5 years. That means this one simple movement acts like a window into your future independence. Why step-ups matter more than you think. Most leg exercises, like squats or leg presses, work both legs at the same time. Sounds great, right? Not exactly. When you work both legs simultaneously, your stronger leg tends to compensate for your weaker one without you even realizing it. Over time, this creates muscle imbalances that can lead to hip pain, knee pain, lower back strain, reduced balance, a tendency to favor one leg when walking, but step-ups force each leg to work independently. This is called unilateral training, and it's considered essential for adults over 60 because it exposes and fixes weaknesses that would otherwise stay hidden. The Cleveland Clinic has repeatedly emphasized that unilateral training reduces fall risk and improves gait stability more than almost any other type of exercise. How to set up your step-ups the right way. You don't need a fancy gym bench or equipment. A stable step or stair in your home will work perfectly. Here's how to begin safely. Find the right height. Start with a 6 to 8-inch step, about the height of a standard stair. Avoid starting too high. It's about control, not showing off. Stand tall, facing the step. Keep your feet hip-width apart so your hips and knees stay aligned. Place your right foot fully on the step, not just your toes. When your entire foot is supported, you activate 40% more muscle fibers, especially in the glutes and hamstrings. According to biomechanics researchers in Australia, drive through your heel. This is the heart of the movement. Pressing through your heel activates the glutes, the muscles that power your gait and protect your lower back. Lift yourself up smoothly. The leg on the step should do all the work. Don't push off with the back leg. That's the number one mistake people make, and it cuts muscle activation in half. Stand tall at the top. Imagine a string pulling the top of your head up. This improves posture and engages your core without effort. Descend slowly. Count to 3. Controlled descent is where the real strength is built. In fact, the University of Melbourne found that taking 3 full seconds on the way down increases muscle activation by 67% compared to fast step-ups. Once you finish one repetition, step back down with control and switch legs. Repetition. Guidelines for beginners: start with 10 step-ups per leg. Rest for 30-45 seconds. Repeat for 2 to 3 rounds if possible. If 10 feels too easy, don't rush to add more reps. Instead, increase the height, not the speed. Raising your step by just 2 inches increases the difficulty by about 30%. This is because your knee must lift higher and your glutes must engage more deeply. But remember, form always comes first. If your knee starts wobbling inward or outward, the step may be too high for now. The key to pain-free. Step-ups knee alignment. One of the fastest ways to develop or worsen joint pain is letting your knee collapse inward during the step. This strains the ligaments in your knee and can irritate cartilage. To protect your knees, imagine your kneecap tracking over your second toe. Keep your hips level. Avoid letting your hips drop on one side. Think level headlights. If your knee caves inward, lower the step height until you can maintain perfect alignment. How often should you do step-ups? Because step-ups activate large muscle groups. Your body needs time to recover. Aim for every other day, giving yourself 48 hours of rest between sessions. This is the recovery window your body needs to rebuild muscle fibers. On off days, take a gentle 5-minute walk to increase blood flow and support recovery. Research from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning shows that gentle walking after strength training reduces soreness by 40% and increases future strength gains by 25%. A tip from Blue Zones: combine step-ups with daily movement. In Okinawa, one of the world's famous blue zones, where people regularly live past 100, older adults don't rely on formal workouts. They simply incorporate natural movements all day. You can do the same. Pair your step-up sessions with a few of these habits. Walk for 3-5 minutes after meals. Stand up every 30 minutes during TV time. Stretch your calves while brushing your teeth. Practice slow, deep breathing before bed. Add a few gentle hip circles while waiting for the microwave. When your daily life supports your exercise routine, the results multiply. Step-ups are more than exercise. They are practice for life. Think of every step-up as a rehearsal for the things you want to keep doing independently. Climbing stairs without grabbing the railing. Getting into a car without strain. Navigating curbs safely. Walking with confidence, preventing missteps and falls. Every rep makes real-world tasks easier. And here's something encouraging. Many seniors begin noticing improvement in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. Their knees feel more stable, their balance improves, they feel stronger rising from chairs. But as powerful as wall sits and step-ups are, they're really just preparation for the final movement, the one Johns Hopkins surgeons now prescribe before considering knee surgery. This next exercise may look deceptively simple, yet it activates 73 muscles and has been shown to predict longevity, not just mobility. It's the movement that ties everything together. Next up, number 1, single leg stands. Now we've arrived at the most powerful exercise on this entire list, the one that orthopedic surgeons at Johns Hopkins have begun prescribing to patients before recommending surgery, and the one shown in multiple long-term studies to predict not only mobility, but overall longevity. It's called the single leg stand. And yes, it looks incredibly simple. But don't be fooled. When you stand on one leg, your body recruits 73 different muscles just to keep you steady. That's more than triple the number used when walking. Single leg stands aren't just an exercise. They're a total body recalibration of strength, balance, coordination, and even brain function. Let me explain why. Why balancing on one leg is so important. After 60. When you lift one foot off the floor, several invisible systems activate instantly. Your ankle stabilizers fire to keep you from tipping. Your knee stabilizers engage to keep your leg centered. Your core and lower back muscles tighten to keep your torso upright. Your hip muscles activate to prevent your pelvis from dropping. And your brain goes into overdrive, processing real-time feedback from your joints, muscles, vision, and inner ear. This is called proprioception, your body's ability to know where it is in space. And proprioception declines naturally with age unless we challenge it. The reason single-leg stands are so effective is simple. They train all 3 balance systems at the same time: vision, inner ear balance, and joint muscle feedback. Most exercises only stimulate 1 or 2. This is why a landmark study in the British Medical Journal found something startling. Adults over 60 who could not stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death over the next decade. That doesn't mean the exercise itself determines lifespan, but it reflects what researchers call total body resilience. The better your balance, the better your brain, muscles, and nervous system are working together. Why orthopedic surgeons recommend single leg stands? When your balance is poor, your joints, especially your knees and hips, absorb shock unevenly. This leads to misalignment, cartilage wear, knee pain, hip stiffness, and higher fall risk. But when you practice single leg stands, your ankle stabilizers strengthen and reduce wobbling. Your knees align better with each step. Your hips become more level and stable. Your entire walking pattern becomes smoother and safer. This is why Johns Hopkins doctors now use single leg stands to assess whether someone actually needs knee surgery or simply needs to strengthen their stabilizer muscles. In many cases, patients cancel their surgery consultations after doing these exercises consistently for just a few weeks. How to perform the perfect single leg stand. Let's walk through the correct technique: slow, safe, and controlled. Stand next to a chair or countertop. This is your safety anchor. You may not need it, but it's there if you do. Stand tall with feet hip-width apart. Distribute your weight evenly. Lift your right foot slowly. Bring your knee up to about a 30-45 degree angle. No need to lift higher. Height doesn't matter here. Stability does. Keep your standing knee slightly bent. Never lock it out. That slight bend activates your quadriceps and keeps your joints safe. Focus your eyes on one point straight ahead. A Mayo Clinic study found this improves balance time by nearly 40%. Try to hold for 30 seconds, then switch legs. If 30 seconds feels impossible right now, don't worry. That's exactly why this movement is so essential. Even 5-10 seconds is a victory when you're starting out. What most people do wrong and how to fix it. Mistake, Stunchberry 1, leaning sideways. This means your hip stabilizers are weak. Fix, pull your belly button slightly inward and stand tall. Mistake, number 2, holding breath. This increases tension and reduces balance. Fix, inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Mistake. Number 3, stiff ankles. Ankle rigidity makes balancing nearly impossible. Fix, gently roll your ankles before you begin. Mistake. Number 4, trying to balance perfectly still. Real balance involves micro movements. Fix, allow tiny adjustments. That's your body getting smarter. How to progress and make it even more effective. Once you can hold a single leg stand with your eyes open for 30 seconds, you're ready for progression. These variations stimulate different parts of your balance system. 1. Eyes closed, intermediate. This is a big jump in difficulty. When you remove visual input, your brain relies on your inner ear and joint sensors. A Japanese study found that practicing with eyes closed improved reaction time by 28%, which is exactly what you need when you trip, slip, or step on uneven ground. Start with 5 to 10 seconds eyes closed. 2. Moving your raised leg, intermediate. Slowly move your lifted leg forward and back while balancing. This strengthens your hip flexors and challenges your stability in multiple directions. This variation mimics real life, like stepping over objects, reaching for items, or navigating tight spaces. 3. Head turns, advanced. Turn your head slowly left and right, like saying no. This stimulates your vestibular system, your inner ear balance center. A Cleveland Clinic study found that adding head turns improved balance scores by 52% compared to standard single-leg stands. 4. Changing surfaces, advanced. Try standing on carpet, a folded towel, a thick yoga mat, or eventually a foam pad. Each surface increases difficulty by about 30%. This builds something physical therapists call reactive balance, your ability to adjust instantly to unexpected surface changes, the exact skill that prevents falls. Why single-leg stands? Improve brain health. This part surprises many people. Researchers at Kyoto University used brain imaging to study older adults who practiced single-leg stands daily for 3 months. They found increased gray matter in the hippocampus, better spatial awareness, improved short-term memory, 18% better cognitive test scores. Your hippocampus is the brain's memory and navigation center, and the fact that balance training strengthened it is one of the most exciting findings in aging research. In short, balancing on one leg strengthens your body and your brain at the same time. How often should you practice? Do this exercise 3 times a day. Morning wakes up your balance system. Afternoon fights muscle fatigue. Evening reduces nighttime fall risk, especially on bathroom trips. Practicing at different times helps your nervous system lock in the new balance patterns more deeply. Real-life results, the Boston Clinic study. A physical therapy clinic in Boston tracked 200 adults over 60 who committed to these 3 movements, wall sits, step-ups, and single-leg stands, for 3 months. Here's what happened. 68% could climb stairs without using the railing. 74% found getting out of chairs easier. 43% reported knee pain significantly reduced or gone. Many canceled knee replacement consultations. And not because they became athletes, but because they practiced consistently. Putting it all together, the correct sequence. For best results, always follow this order. Wall sits, activate and warm up step-ups, build functional strength. Single leg stands, integrate balance and coordination. This entire sequence takes about 15 minutes, 3 times per week. On rest days, take a gentle walk or stretch lightly. You're not just exercising your legs, you're building your independence, your confidence, your safety, your mobility, your ability to keep doing the things you love. Most people see noticeable improvement within 2 weeks and major changes by week 6. Now, let's pull everything together and wrap up with a powerful recap, plus one final reflection I think you'll find truly motivating. Next up, final part, summary, reflection, and call to action. You've now learned the 3 most powerful research-backed movements for rebuilding leg strength, balance, and confidence after age 60. And I want to take a moment to bring all the pieces together so you feel absolutely clear, motivated, and ready to begin. Let's recap what you've discovered in this video. And then I'll share a few final reflections, the kind of encouragement I've seen transform the lives of older adults in physical therapy rooms, community centers, and everyday homes across America. Because this journey isn't just about your legs, it's about your independence, your freedom, and your ability to keep living life on your own terms. The big takeaways: simple, practical, and powerful. 1. Wall sits, your safe, joint-friendly foundation. We began with wall sits because they wake up your leg muscles in a controlled, joint-safe way. You learned that. Wall sits activate your quads, glutes, hamstrings, and stabilizers. They strengthen the muscles around your knees without pressure. Isometric training is recommended by Harvard and the National Institute on Aging. Just 8 weeks of practice can improve strength by 31%. Morning wall sits lead to better consistency and faster progress. Controlling your breathing boosts endurance by 35%. This movement sets the stage for everything else. It's the foundation, the activation switch, that prepares your legs for more functional movement. 2. Step-ups, the movement that predicts. Future mobility. Step-ups train the exact motion you use countless times throughout your day. Climbing stairs, rising from chairs, stepping off curbs. You learn that step-ups work each leg independently to fix imbalances, predict mobility decline better than almost any other exercise, strengthen the glutes, your body's walking powerhouse. Use eccentric, slow lowering. Strength to build muscle faster. Improve knee tracking and joint alignment. Become significantly more challenging with even small increases in step height. Research shows completing just 15 controlled step-ups correlates with an 82% lower risk of mobility issues over the next 5 years. That's not a small margin. It's life-changing. 3. Single leg stands, the exercise that predicts longevity. This movement may be the simplest, but it engages the most systems at once: muscles, nerves, inner ear balance, vision, brain function. You learn that single leg stands improve knee stability, hip strength, ankle control, walking patterns, spatial awareness, neuromuscular coordination. And the research is stunning. Adults unable to balance for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death over the next decade. Daily balance training increases gray matter in the hippocampus. The memory center of the brain-eye focus increases balance time by 40%. Head turns boost vestibular strength by 52%. Training on new surfaces develops reactive balance, which is what stops falls in real life. This simple movement is so powerful that Johns Hopkins surgeons use it as a pre-surgery test, and many patients improve so much that surgery becomes unnecessary. A few powerful truths about aging and about you. I want to share something many older adults don't hear nearly enough. Aging does not mean decline. Aging means adaptation. Your muscles can get stronger, your balance can improve, your brain can grow new pathways, your mobility can be restored, and your independence can be protected. The National Institute on Aging has repeatedly emphasized that strength training is one of the few interventions proven to slow, and in many cases reverse, age-related decline. Your joints may feel stiff, your legs may feel weaker than they used to. Maybe you've had a fall, or maybe you've been avoiding stairs. That's understandable. But here's something I've learned watching thousands of seniors improve. Your body is always waiting for a signal. These exercises are that signal. The moment you begin activating your muscles consistently, your body says, "Oh, I still need these muscles. Let me rebuild them." And it does, faster than most people expect. Why this works? In simple everyday language. You don't need a medical degree to understand this. Strong legs support your hips and knees. Strong stabilizers prevent wobbles and stumbles. Balanced muscles protect your joints. Better balance protects your entire body. Stronger legs keep your brain and nervous system sharper. Everything is connected. Your legs aren't just for walking, they're your foundation. When they're strong, everything above them works better. Your lungs, your heart, your digestion, your brain, your posture. That's why people who practice these movements often report unexpected improvements like better sleep, more energy, reduced anxiety, improved clarity, better mood, more confidence. Movement is medicine, and these exercises are the prescription. The importance of consistency, not intensity. If I could whisper one message into your ear every morning, it would be this: consistency beats intensity every single time. Doing these movements 3 times a week for just 15 minutes at 70% effort will transform your body far more than doing them once a week at 100% intensity. Your muscles and nervous system need regular signals, not heroic bursts of effort. Think of your strength as a garden. You don't water it once a month. You nurture it regularly. Small steps, repeated steps, smart steps. That's how you grow strength, at any age. How to track your progress and why it matters. Write it down. Your wall sit time, your step up count, your single leg hold time. Why? Because seeing those numbers change, even a little, creates momentum. In fact, psychologists at Stanford found that people over 60 who track progress are 46% more likely to stay consistent with their health routines. And here's something beautiful. Most people notice improvements by week 2 and significant changes by week 6. Nothing motivates like success you can see. One powerful reflection to carry with you. You can't stop aging. None of us can. But you can shape the way you age. You can choose strength over weakness, confidence over fear, mobility over limitation, action over hesitation. The truth is, your future self is watching you. He or she is cheering for you, and every rep you do today becomes a gift to the version of you who wakes up 6 months from now with stronger legs, steadier balance, and more freedom. And if you ever feel discouraged, remember this. Every single person you admire, every strong, active, vibrant older adult started at day 1. You can too. Start today. Start small. Start gently. But start. Your legs and your life will thank you. Now I'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, which of these 3 exercises will you start with today? And what's one everyday activity you want to make easier? Stairs, getting out of chairs, or balance? Your answers help us understand what you're going through, and they inspire thousands of others in this community who are just beginning their journey. If this helped you, if you found this video helpful, calming, or motivating, consider subscribing for more trusted, science-backed health tips designed specially for life after 60. We release new videos every week to help you. Strengthen your body, keep your mind sharp, improve your balance, sleep better, reduce pain, and enjoy a longer, freer, more independent life. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself. Your strongest years can still be ahead.